to be the source code for Intel Alder Lake UEFI firmware, which they claim was released by 4chan. The link led to a GitHub repository named Ice-T BIOS that was uploaded by a user called LCFCASD. This repository contained what was described as the BIOS code for project C970. The leak contains 5.97 gigabytes of files, source code, private keys, change logs, and compilation tools, with the latest timestamp on the files being 9/30/2022, likely when a hacker or insider copied the data. Security researchers are concerned. While Intel has downplayed the security risk of the source code leak, security researchers warn that the contents could make it easier to find vulnerabilities in the code. The attacker or bug hunter can hugely benefit from the leaks even if leaked OEM implementation is only partially used in the production, explained hardware security firm Hardened Vault. The Inside's solution can help the security researchers, bug hunters, and the attackers find the vulnerability and understand the results of reverse engineering easily, which adds up to a long-term high risk to users. Positive Technologies hardware researcher Mark Ermolov also warned that the leak included a key manifest private encryption key, a private key used to secure Intel's BootGuard platform. See more at Bleeping Computer. Russian cyber attacks hit websites for LAX, LaGuardia, and O'Hare. A rash of cyber attacks targeted over a dozen major U.S. air travel websites on Monday, including those of several large airports. Security experts believe that the incident, which downed multiple sites but failed to meddle in any operational capacity with air travel, is the work of a pro-Russian hacker group charmingly known as Killnet. As far as Gizmodo could discern, the airports that have been affected include Des Moines International Airport, Los Angeles International Airport, Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. However, all of these airports currently have functioning websites, so they have already recovered from the attacks. See more at Gizmodo. A modified WhatsApp caught infecting Android devices with malware. An unofficial version of the popular WhatsApp messaging app called Yo WhatsApp has been observed deploying an Android Trojan known as Triada. The goal of the malware is to steal the keys that allow the user of a WhatsApp account without the app. Kaspersky said in a news report, if the keys are stolen, a user of a malicious WhatsApp mod can lose control over their account. Yo WhatsApp offers the ability for users to lock chats, send messages to unsaved numbers, and customize the app with a variety of theming options. It's also said to share overlaps with other modified WhatsApp clients, such as FM WhatsApp and Hey Mods. See the Hacker News for more. So is Apple becoming a bank? Apple is adding a savings account to the Apple Card. The new savings account will earn interest on daily cash rebates from purchases as well as money deposited from a linked account or your Apple Cash balance. Apple has been moving into fintech with the Apple Card, which it partners with Goldman Sachs on. As one of its perks, card users get daily cash, Apple's special branding on the more mundane cashback rewards on their purchases. The promise of this high-yield savings account is the cardholders can have their daily cash deposited into it with no fees, no minimum deposits, and no minimum balance requirements, the company said. Read more at The Verge. The SSA announces an 8.7% COLA hike, which is the largest in 40 years. Social Security and Supplemental Security income benefits for approximately 70 million Americans will increase by 8.7% in 2023. The Social Security Administration announced today, on average, Social Security benefits will increase by more than $140 per month starting in January. Social Security and SSI beneficiaries are normally notified by mail starting in early December about their new benefit amounts. Information about Medicare changes for 2023 is available at www.medicare.gov. For the whole article, see the SSA press release. A prison inmate is accused of orchestrating an $11 million fraud using a cell phone. A U.S. prisoner has been charged with orchestrating an $11 million scam from his cell using a hidden cell phone. On June 8, 2020, an individual claiming to be billionaire film producer and philanthropist Sidney Kimmel contacted brokerage Charles Schwab by phone and stated that he had uploaded a wire disbursement form using the service's secure email service. The only problem was the call apparently came from prison. Still, the caller referred to a transfer verification inquiry earlier that day by his wife, a role said to have been played by a female co-conspirator. The individual allegedly posing as Kimmel had contacted a Schwab customer service representative 3 days earlier, on June 5, 2020, about opening a checking account and was told that a form of identification and a utility bill would be required. On June 6th, a co-conspirator is alleged to have provided a picture of Kimmel's driver's license and an LA water and power utility bill. You can read the whole article at the Register. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. Smishing or phishing carried out using SMS text messages is once again on the rise, according to new reports from the IRS. Read the article at the link listed, or watch my video on this topic at the YouTube link listed. By the way, did you know that today more pictures are taken every 2 minutes than were taken in the entire 19th century? I just thought you might want to know. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. IRS warns that smishing attacks are on the rise. Some of the more potent lures contain links to pages that appear to be banking sites that then ask you to unlock or purchase a credit card. Smishing or phishing carried out using SMS text messages is once again on the rise, according to new reports from the IRS. They have warned Americans of the situation last month. This warning joins one issued by the FCC back in July. The IRS said the attacks have increased exponentially, especially texts that appear to be coming from the taxing agency. My thanks go to David Strom for his excellent article, which inspired this video. To read the article, just follow the link listed. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. It's important to note that no matter who you are or your particular tax situation, the IRS never communicates with anyone in this fashion or by email either. It is phishing on an industrial scale, said IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick. They urge people getting these messages to either forward them to 7726, that is spam on the phone keyboard, or by emailing them to the agency. Both my wife and I get, on average, several of these scam texts each week on various dubious subjects. They typically are phony package delivery acknowledgments on packages that we never ordered or offers to send us money out of the blue. We just look at each other and ask, why are we getting these messages at this moment? The simple answer is criminals want our money or our private data or both. This summer, some of these smishing texts were linked to a special Trojan called Flubot. That scam infected more than 60,000 devices and collected millions of users' phone numbers. The attackers are looking for your banking information or any personal information that they can subsequently use to leverage another scam and make them more believable. Some of the more potent lures contain links to pages that appear to be banking sites that then ask you to unlock or purchase a credit card. Don't fall for these. The Avast blog, just follow the link to reach it, has many articles about these attacks, including an analysis of how the attack works and the various scams at work on the Google Play Store. Both posts are worth reviewing to gain some insight into the attacker's mindset and to understand how hard it is to defend against them. Learn what to look out for so you don't become a victim. Here are some tips on what to do to avoid being a victim. First off, don't respond to any text or email messages from scammers. That just encourages them to communicate with you further. Realize that criminals can easily spoof any originating phone number or email address to increase credibility. So be wary of texts from friends that you haven't heard from recently or don't usually text. As we like to say, if your gut is saying something is fishy, it probably is. Pay attention to the message content and think carefully before you respond to any text message that is requesting something from you. Look for misspellings or old phrases that indicate a non-native speaker. Never download any links embedded in the message. Instead, always go to a separate browsing session and bring up the package delivery vendors directly. Similarly, if you get an unexpected text from some vendor you do business with, call them back on their main office number. Finally, if you have been duped, file a complaint to local law enforcement and notify your wireless carrier or internet service provider. There are also some places where you can make the information available to investigators. The IRS Impersonation Scam Reporting Form and the FTC's Complaint Assistant. I've put a link in for both of those. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Bob. Hey, listen, I have an apology to everyone to make. All of you forgot to remind me to start the live feed at 8:45, so I didn't get it started till around 5 minutes after we started. So if it happens again, we've got 70 people here to remind me. You know, it's a seniors moment. So I'm sorry if you were waiting over on our YouTube feed and it didn't show up right at 1:45. Anyway, yes. So my apologies. We will certainly work on that. Okay, now a little bit. Bob's serious and good stuff. This is a little bit lighthearted and has to do with some fun I had this week and some things about coffee and how to keep your coffee hot. So let me share my screen and we'll see if we can do this now. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, my new Ember coffee mug. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 things. Number 1, I'm going to tell you how to save some money with your purchase of this mug. Number 2, I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why you shouldn't buy this mug. And the third thing we're going to talk about is the reason why I decided to keep my mug and use it. So let's get on with it. So let me give you a tip on purchasing this cup, mug, or travel mug. Well, Ember Company has been around since a successful crowdsourcing event in 2014 when they were able to form a company. This has been a successful company and their products have been sold worldwide. In the United States, you can see that it's sold on Amazon, it's sold in Starbucks, Best Buy, and many retail stores across the United States. I purchased mine in Canada through Amazon. You can also purchase these products in various centers in Europe. When we're talking about the Ember coffee cup, mug, or travel mug, you have to understand that there are 3 products. The one I purchased was the coffee mug. Now, when you are looking at purchasing this product and you're seeing multiple prices in different locations, you need to understand which one you're talking about. So I'm going to limit my discussion today to the Ember coffee mug. Now, this comes in 2 sizes. It comes in a 10 ounce and 14 ounce, and it comes in 3 colors, white, black, and gray. So here's the tip. I purchased mine on Amazon, and the Ember mug on Amazon was about $200 Canadian. However, everyone seems to want the white or the black. When I chose gray as the color, I got $60 off. And then I got a manufacturer rebate of $20, which gave me about $80 off the price of this device. So when you're looking at purchasing this, check the different colors because you may find it cheaper to buy a color that's not so popular. The other thing you should also know that this cup has been around for many years. So the original Ember mug was simply called Ember mug, but the updated one is called Ember mug 2. And that is the one that you should be buying. So what are my 2 reasons for not purchasing this product? Well, I want you to grab your smartphone for a minute. I have a Pixel 6. Grab your iPhone or your Samsung phone, whatever you have, and I want you to look at the phone and tell me a few things. I always say in amazement that this thing's waterproof or water resistant or whatever your phone is. How do they make these things waterproof? Amazing, eh? Now, the second thing about these phones is they all have wireless charging. You know, I was at the airport yesterday and I just put my phone down and it charged. I was at a restaurant yesterday as well. They had smart charging stations at the table. I just bought a light stand from Costco for $20 and I put the phone on it and it charges it. It's got smart charging. Like everybody has smart charging now. That's pretty cool. And the third thing your phone has, at least the newer ones, has fast charging. Fast charging is great because it really does wireless charging, but it charges your phone up quickly. Well, let's go back and look at the $200 Ember coffee mug in 2022 has none of those features, all right? Now, when you first purchase this mug, you need to have a family meeting with all the people in your family that might have contact with this mug. Because there are 2 things that you cannot do with this mug. First of all, you cannot put it in the microwave. In the bottom of the mug is all the electronics that heat the coffee up to keep it hot. And if you put that in the microwave, you will not be very happy because your mug will no longer work. And the second thing is it can't go in the dishwasher. You can imagine you're having a busy dinner party. A lot of people working in the kitchen. They decide to clean up the kitchen and run the dishwasher for you, and they've just put your Ember coffee mug in the dishwasher, and it is not waterproof. In fact, you're not supposed to put it in the dishwasher at all. Part of the reason for that is the charging system. If you look on the bottom of the Ember coffee mug, you'll see 2 circular copper rings. These copper rings are the contact points for the saucer. And if you look on the saucer is what you plug into the wall and charge the battery in the mug. When you put the mug on the saucer, there is a contact, and this charges the mug. You'll normally get an hour's worth of productivity out of the mug, and then it has to be recharged for a couple of hours. So it's not waterproof, it's not wireless, and it's certainly not fast charging. The second thing is I want you to grab your phone again and have a look at it. And over the years, I've spent a lot of time doing tech support with phones. And as you know, Bluetooth connects a lot of your devices to your phone. Now, what I consider Bluetooth is, it's like black magic. First of all, black magic is bad, and also nobody understands it. And I think the same applies to Bluetooth. Now, on the Pixel line of phones, you'll find out that Google is bringing in what we call fast pairing, which really is getting away from Bluetooth connections and a new technology. And you'll be seeing this on more Android phones as we move forward, because it is very problematic when you're trying to connect Bluetooth devices, particularly older ones with older technology. So let's go back to our coffee mug now. One of the cool things about this coffee mug is that of course, there's an app with it, and the app connects to your mug through Bluetooth. Great. So I get my mug and of course connected my Pixel 6 phone initially to the mug. It worked fine. It connected right away, and it brings up a pretty impressive menu. The menu is, you can set, of course, the temperature. There's a little slider, and you can connect the temperature to anything you want. And then, of course, each type of drink you make, if it's a latte or Americano or whatever you want, you can set it so that your coffee mug will actually go to the temperature that's best for that drink. All pretty cool stuff when it works. Well, within 24 hours, there was a notification on my phone that there was an app update for the Ember coffee mug, which I did. And of course, that broke the app. It would not update, and that was it. After about 2.5 hours of doing all my tricks that I've learned over the years, I decided just to let it rest, and I don't use the app now at all. I don't really think it's that important. Your coffee mug will work just fine without the app. It will heat it to 145 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should be nice and hot for you. So you don't need to use the app. When I went to the Ember website and looked at the support for Bluetooth, the approved phones were like 5 or 6 years old. They haven't updated that system for a long time, and I suspect that one of the problems here is it's just old technology, and that the version of Bluetooth they're using in their mug just isn't compatible with the modern phones. So it might work on some phones, the app might work on some phones, and it might not work on others. But again, something I probably would expect with a $200 coffee mug. Anyway, those are two reasons why I think you should be very cautious about buying this. So with those shortcomings, why didn't I return my mug? Well, as you can see on this image, I'm an amateur barista. I get up in the morning, enjoy my latte. Prior to heading to the office, I grab a Americano and enjoy sipping it for the first hour I'm in my office. The Ember coffee mug keeps it hot. I don't use the app. It inherently works on its own, and it fits in my schedule just perfectly. And that's the reason I kept it. Hopefully this video will help you with your decision making on the Ember coffee mug and maybe save you a little bit of money as well. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We'd sure appreciate that. Like and subscribe. Anyway, till we see you again, have a great day and enjoy your coffee. All right, Hewie, I think, let's see, Hewie, I think you're up next. Yeah, you're up.
All right. I like the smell of coffee, but not the taste. By the way, this title I made with Canva. How to choose an ISP in the US and Canada. I'm Hewie Poplock. What's a good internet speed? 0 to 5 megabits per second. You can check email, streams music on one device, and you probably can do a Zoom meeting. 5 to 40 megabits per second. Stream on one device, and some others you can see. 40 to 100 megabits works for streaming HD video on a few devices and downloading large files. Above that, 100 to 500 megabits, you can do quite a bit. And of course, 500 to a gigabit or more works for doing almost anything. Speed tests. How accurate are they? Sadly, they're often not at all accurate. Sometimes an internet speed test isn't accurate because the method the service uses isn't great. When you start a speed test, multiple things occur. First, the client determines your location and the closest test server to you. With the test server in place, the speed test sends a simple signal, a ping, to the server and it responds. The test measures that round trip in milliseconds. After the ping is complete, the download test begins. The client opens multiple connections to the server and attempts to download a small piece of data. At this point, two things are measured: how long it took to grab the fragment of the data and how much of your network resources it used. If the client detects that you have room to spare, it opens more connections to the server and downloads more data. The general idea is to tax your internet connection and see how much it can do simultaneously. Next is the upload test. It's essentially the same process as the download test, but in reverse. Instead of pulling data from your server to your PC, the client uploads data from your PC to the server. Let's look at a few speed tests. First, we'll go to Google and type in speed space test. We get a blue box. We click on that blue box and we get a speed test. And this is the result we got from that test. Next, we go to speedtest.net. We run the test, and this is what the result we got. Then we ran the same test, but from Ookla's app, and this is the result we got. And then finally, we ran Frontier's own speed test, and this is the result. How to choose an internet service provider in the US and Canada. Let's look at the US first using highspeedinternet.com. This is the website. Let's just look down. It just gives you some information. You can search by any state, information about them. But to get the information you want to put in your zip code. Let's use mine to begin with. At the top is an ad, and then below that are the different internet service providers, or ISPs, in my zip code. Xfinity, Spectrum, Earthlink, Frontier, T-Mobile, Home Internet, and Viasat, and Suncoast Broadband. And you can see what their top speeds are for download. I'm using Frontier, and I can get up to 2,000 megabits per second or 2 gigabits. Let's look at the plans. It takes you directly to their website, the Frontier website. It does not give you an intermediary that makes money on it, although this website may get some click-through benefits. But you can see what service they have, and you can contact them for more information. Then they have a lot of information on their pages, of course. They're advertising their service. So you can choose any of the plans and then take a look at information about it. Let's go back to the first page and let's put another zip code in. Let's take one in Mesa, Arizona, for instance. Again, an ad at the top, and then there are just a few services that are available in Mesa, but Cox is one that has up to 1,000 megabits per second, or 1 gigabit. So let's take a look at their plans. Takes you again to their page. And it gives you various plans that they have available. Now, they may not be all available at your address, and so you do have to put that information in, and then they will tell you if you have certain services available for that area. So that's highspeedinternet.com. How to find an internet service provider if you live in Canada. Saying that the highspeedinternet.com is only for the US, I looked for a similar website for Canada. Came across a couple. This is the one that I chose to take a look at with you. And it's called Whistle Out. It wants here, instead of a zip code, a street address. But let's take a look down here a little bit more. There is some information, some news. Again, a list of providers in the various areas, and then choose the right internet plan. In other words, some information on how to do so. And then it lists the major companies in Canada, and you can click on any of those and go to their page as well. But let's come back up here to the top, and let's go ahead and put in an address in Comox, British Columbia, and we search. Just like highspeedinternet.com, it gives us a list of various companies that are available in that area, and a little bit different. They give some of the pricing right here as well at different speeds, and you can come all the way down towards the bottom and get more results and get faster and faster speeds and load more results, and we get more. And there's one that you can get up to 2,500 megabits per second, or 2.5 gigabits. Let's take Shaw right here, this one. They call it Fiber Plus Gig. It tells you that it's $99 a month. And it gives you information on the speeds and what the upload speed will be as well. And then some extras. So it gives you a lot of information for you to decide which service you want wherever you are in Canada. Now let's go back to the internet here at Whistle. They do have some sections that you can look up as well. Best internet for Zoom. Check your internet speed so you can test your internet speed directly from this website as well. Not very accurate. I wouldn't go by that. So that's Whistle Out for Canada. They also have cell phones and some iPhone details if you want to take a look at that as well. How to choose an ISP in the US and Canada. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
That's really great. Hopefully we'll have some questions about that. I had no idea all those services were available in my area. It was really interesting. All right, great. Bob, I think you're up. You've stayed with us all this long. Great, good news.
Should you be using Be Real? Not really, in my opinion. The social network's aim is to allow people to share unfiltered moments of their lives. The potential danger comes when those unfiltered moments include information they'd rather not share. There's a new social media app in town, and it's making waves. Be Real, which launched all the way back in 2020, but didn't really start gaining traction until midway through 2022, encourages people to step away from the curation and filtering of other social media apps and be real. My thanks to Emma McGowan for her excellent article on this topic, which prompted this video. Read her article at the link listed. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. At a different time every day, Be Real users are prompted to take an unfiltered picture in whatever situation they are in at the moment. When notified by the app, users have 2 minutes to take a photo with their front and back camera and share it with their friends, network, or other Be Real users. The app was created as a reaction to other popular social networks, such as Instagram and Facebook, where users post only carefully selected moments of their life. Those highly edited and manipulated photos have proven to have a negative impact on people's mental health. The stated goal of Be Real, then, is to give users the opportunity to see things as they really are, with no filters. While the app's owners suggest their intentions are good, there are some major potential privacy issues with it. Next, we'll explore what Jeff Williams, Avast's global head of security, found when he took a closer look at Be Real. From a security and privacy standpoint, it isn't very pretty. Number 1. It has the right to do what it wants with your photos, and for 30 years. After giving the terms of service a close read, Williams realized Be Real is granted 30 years in which they can reuse your photos in any form. That means ad campaigns, promotional materials, videos, compilations, literally anything they want. In addition to it being an unusually long time period, the nature of the app, which potentially rewards sharing embarrassing or compromising situations, means there's a very high risk for young people sharing without the thought of future consequences. Imagine your most compromising and embarrassing moment being attached to an ad campaign to your friends or to content which goes viral and garners millions of viewers. Williams said, 30 years is largely forever in internet time and potentially covers 60+% of someone's career years. This seems to be a particularly long grant of rights with exceptionally broad permissions for use. Number 2, you might reveal things you didn't mean to reveal. It's very easy to share identifying information like your location, personal information, like what the inside of your bedroom looks like, or even proprietary information like a whiteboard at work on Be Real. Obviously, these are all things that can potentially be revealed on other apps, but the time pressure format, lack of editing and filtering, and hidden delete option means users are more likely to share things they wouldn't share otherwise. The app uses both the forward and reverse facing cameras as a way of capturing the activity of the moment regardless of what it is or who is in the background, Williams said. This model can result in sharing sensitive information such as the contents of a computer screen or on a company whiteboard, or privacy invasive photos of people who have not opted in to the service and who may have a right to an expectation of privacy. The time pressure can also result in sharing a personal moment which brings negative impact in the future or where metadata exposes exact location. Number 3, there's a lack of content moderation. Be Real appears to avoid all responsibility for the content posted on the app by calling itself a hosting company. That means they are only providing a platform for others to use. Hate speech, child sex abuse materials, and other disturbing content could easily be spread on Be Real without any moderation. It's been called out in the press repeatedly that Meta does an inadequate job of content moderation, and that's with throwing hundreds of people at the problem, Williams says. I think that Be Real isn't going to make anywhere near that investment. So the result is likely to be that everything bad you've ever heard about a lack of content moderation on Facebook, you're going to see even more of on Be Real. Number 4, geolocation isn't off automatically. While apps like Instagram now have geolocation off as a default, Be Real does the opposite. When posting a photo, users are asked to turn on or off geolocation and whether they want to share it with the whole Be Real community or just their circle of friends. It is our strong recommendation that users turn geolocation off, especially when sharing pictures in the Discovery section, Williams said. The Discovery section displays pictures to users outside their friend group and is accessible by any user of the app. A real-time location can be misused for stalking and profiling. Last but not least, number 5, the app allows third-party cookies. Like Facebook, Instagram, and other social media apps, Be Real uses third-party cookies. That means users' activity there is being tracked by advertisers in order to serve personalized ads. This kind of data tracking has become normalized to many across the internet, but it does have a potential to be invasive. Ultimately, Be Real has many of the same privacy concerns that have plagued social media from the onset. So it's up to each user to decide how important online privacy is to them. Maybe just ask yourself, do I really want one more corporation having access to so much info about me? Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. Very interesting.
Yep. And boy, has it grown in popularity.
Really, really.
Oh, yeah. Enormous.
Yeah. All right. Ray, just before you get started, I'll say goodbye to our YouTube fans. Sorry again that I didn't get it started on time. The complete edited version will be up by the end of the day. So if you missed any at the beginning, you can see it. I'll have the on our YouTube channel. I'll have the whole show up by probably around 2 or 3 o'clock my time. So if you want to pop over and you participate in our Q&A from YouTube, just come on over. We'll let you in, and we've got lots of room for you. And otherwise, we watch our show on Thursday. Take up the stop our feed.